Thank you so much for coming out to 1 Million Cups. I'd like to introduce our coffee sponsor, who is a little bit of an introvert and most certainly did not want to be up here. Okay, so this guy, without question, without hesitation, every single week has provided us with free coffee just because he loves the Billings business community. And I also want to remind the Billings business community that this guy makes some really good beans and he has very competitive prices. So you could have this delicious coffee at your business anytime you want it, delivered weekly. They provide equipment and anything you need. So definitely chat with this guy if you would like some of this coffee. And let's give him another round of applause for everything he's done for us. Thank you. All right, so thank you all for coming. Thank you all for bringing guests. We've really been getting the word out well. I know when we started this, we were getting engagements of about 100 to 200 people on our posts. And because you guys started checking in, go ahead and check in now on Facebook if you would. Since you guys started checking in and sharing the event posts, we're getting about 3,000 engagements on the speaker announcement. So definitely word is getting out. I had a couple people tell me that they couldn't go anywhere without hearing something about 1 Million Cups. So keep doing what you're doing. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the new volunteers that are stepping up. And so we're going to have some changes in organizing. We're getting booked out further, so we're going to be able to do more to promote these businesses. And it's all because of your support for the entrepreneurial community. So we really appreciate that. So our first speaker today is going to be Rebecca with Revision Custom Home Design. So go ahead and bring her up with a round of applause.
Sorry, I'm late. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm a mess. Just having a place built, local builder, great builder. The plans, we just kind of winged it, a couple off of eBay, crushed them into one. There you go. And so this is what I got. As you can see, we don't have any storage space. I have 2 closets, and we still haven't figured out how to use them. Their clothes are everywhere. I'm a mess. Sorry, I'm so nervous. Just let me stand here, but it's awful. This is my briefcase today. Taking diapers for work. It's a nightmare. And we also, exhausted too, I have to tell you. I'm sorry. My favorite color, hunter orange. Well, obviously it doesn't go very well in my room. And I keep waking up at midnight thinking it's daybreak because the moon's shining on my wall. And so, haven't figured out lines, haven't done anything. I just wish, honestly, that there was someone here in town who could have maybe saved my butt at the beginning, or maybe not embarrassed today.
Sounds like you need a design superhero. So have a seat, and I'll let you know what I can do. All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Langman. I am an interior designer, and I own Revision Custom Home Design, full spectrum design firm started here in Billings just over 2 years ago. A little bit about myself. I grew up real quick. I grew up with engineer for a dad and an artist for a mother, so design was sort of a natural progression for me. Always surrounded by that balance of organization and creativity. I did then go to college in Chicago. I studied interior design at Heritage Institute of Interior Design, obviously the only degree they offer. And then I also spent 1 year at MSC Bozeman, and so I am officially a CAP by default. And then I moved to Billings. I've been here about 17, 18 years. I have years of experience working here for different companies, everything from construction, remodels, all the way through to the furnishings at the end, custom furniture and draperies. When starting my business, everyone thinks about that mission statement. What part of the business, what niche, what area do you want to meet? What clients do you want to work with? My passion is working with busy homeowners during life's transitions to remodel their homes, to get past the design paralysis that is so common, to create homes that express their personal style and work for their family. So that encompasses a lot, but that's really what it comes down to for me. So really quick, interior design. A lot of people don't necessarily understand the full scope of what that is. Specifically, it is the art and science of enhancing the interior of a building to achieve a functional and more aesthetically pleasing environment for the people that will be using the space. So it really does encompass a lot. It's not just what's going to look good. How is this going to work? Is it going to function? Are you going to have enough closet space? Are you going to have light coming in the way you want? Are you going to have sound control? Is this space going to work for you, your family, or even your small business? Design is not just the X, Y, Z at the end. It's A to Z. And decorators and designers are not the same. So the types of projects that my company handles, either in person, face-to-face, or virtually through e-design, encompasses everything from new home construction, meaning the floor plans, bring in a scribble on a napkin of something you find online, and I can make it your own custom home suited to your needs. I can walk you through the process of selecting fixtures and finishes. The same thing for remodels. Come in, look at your space, give you ideas on how you can rearrange what's there to be more functional for the phase of life that you're in now. And then I can do that decorating end, once the project is mostly complete, coming in, helping you arrange furniture, doing paint color consultations, and helping you accessorize and paint your artwork. E-design services, which I briefly touched on, simply put, is using technology to communicate with clients anywhere at any time. So a lot of my clients, even locally, almost would be considered a hybrid e-design. I meet with them in person, I go over their project, but then a lot of our communication is done virtually via email or via a separate page on my website that they have access to keep track of all of their project notes. And that way they can communicate back and forth, working around their schedule. And if they are a little bit further out, obviously Montana is fairly rural, and it can very quickly be a 20-minute visit or driving an hour and a half to go see someone. So this saves a little bit of that back and forth. When I'm working with a client, my job is to create a roadmap for them. This was a flip house where the client was going to be doing all the purchasing himself, but he just needed to know what to do. So I created an overall cohesive look for this house. I sourced everything from the store that he said he was going to go to, and I gave him specific details on where to get each of these items. Again, this is another client who we were redoing a living room space. I came up with a layout, and on my website, I have a specific page dedicated for her. She can click on each of these items. It takes her directly to the website where they're available for purchase. It has prices, dimensions, everything she needs to know, and she can implement this project at her convenience. I can also use virtual tools like Photoshop and other graphic rendering programs to create virtual renderings of a space so that prior to construction, or if we're remodeling a space, I can take a photograph and alter it to show what the space could look like. Not everyone can envision things when it's black and white on paper, but you can't deny that this is a very easy way to see what could be. A couple of the projects that I've worked on the last few years, this was a basement remodel that obviously started out as a very dark, generic, unfinished basement. We came up with a concept for this light and airy space with just a little bit of a coastal farmhouse vibe, and ended up creating a beautiful space to not only accomplish the needs of washing and folding laundry, but also created a finished space for the homeowner to have some additional exercise equipment. This was a bathroom where we actually didn't change the location of anything. We just got all new furnishings, changed the color, and spruced up this bathroom that was very, very small, but we made it feel a lot larger than it did originally. And my introductory service, one of the ways that I was really trying to get started and to get in front of people was to break down the barrier. A lot of people have this intimidation factor with designers. They think we're stuffy. I don't generally wear a blazer, but if I must. And so there's a little bit of that intimidation factor, or, oh, they're fancy, they're going to come in and steamroll everything and recreate my space into their style and not my style. And this was something that I put together to really help people understand that I want your style to shine through. You shop from home using things that you already have. This is great as a move-in service, or just if you've been there a while and never really gotten your artwork and accessories out, or just want to refresh. So it's a great way to save money and save you time. You're not running out to the store and buying things that may or may not work. We're just reusing what you have. And it's just a really nice, relaxed atmosphere where I bring a bottle of wine and you just refresh your house. This was an example of a project we did on one of those wine designs where the homeowner had just moved out here, had this big open wall above a staircase, but she had this collection of unique items that she thought really represented her family. And so we came up with a layout and got it up there. And last but not least, again, with getting to know the people of Billings and breaking down those barriers of understanding what design is, I do teach a series of classes once a month over at Imagine Studios, talking about all different topics from furniture and accessory layouts, how to pick colors, and then we also do some fun crafts from time to time. So, Billings is ready for design, but do they not?
I think in my mind, one of my barriers to hiring a decorator or a designer would be that the furnishings and the items that you would recommend would be more expensive than things that I want to buy. But that, I don't necessarily, like, logically thinking about it, I don't think that that's, like, the whole thing is you know what to buy and where to find great things, and it could probably be a net savings. But could you explain a little bit more about that, or does anybody have any ideas on how to overcome that fear that if I hire a decorator, they're going to want me to buy a $4,000 sofa?
Very true. And I source from a very wide variety of places, everywhere from locally, Slumberland, and whoever else. But I can go to the higher end places as well if that's what my client wants. But I do very much respect their budget and start at the point that they want. Convincing people in advance of that, I don't know. But yes.
What are some struggles you face in your business?
The biggest thing is when I introduce myself and say I'm an interior designer, they say, oh great, I'm building a house right now. I'll call you when I get moved in. X, Y, Z. A, B, and C is where I have the most fun. Designing those custom floor plans, getting that house, the layout of the house to be as functional as they can make it. That's what I enjoy doing, and that's where I really find value for my clients. And it's convincing them. You should have called me yesterday and not.
Do you work with the builder then too?
I work independently. I do have a list of preferred vendors that I've worked with that I would recommend to my clients, but my services are essentially a la carte. I do hourly for all of my work, and then at the end of that time, the plans belong to the client, and they can take those to whichever builder or subcontractor that they want. That is a little bit different than some of the other places in town. There are design build companies in town that they do plans, they do build, and you don't have a choice just because of the way their pricing structure is set up. They don't charge you for the plans, but they make money on the build. So.
Do you currently work with any developers?
Not yet, but I hope it does.
Would architects be good strategic partners for you, or would they consider what you're doing as basically replacing some of their services?
There's kind of a scale there. Architects generally, not always, work on a little bit of the larger houses. I've done houses that are 1,800 square feet, and with the exception of the deed of trust plan, the plans that I create make it through city permit. It's just that one last component of having the engineer take a look at it. So budget-wise, I kind of fall in the middle between just going and picking up whatever plan the builder has and hiring an architect. So there are definitely times where maybe an architect has a client approach them and it just isn't going to be a profitable job for them. So yes, then that would be a case where I can step in and that would be a good fit for me. I have yet to have someone come to me and want something that's out of my scope yet. So, but it is a good back and forth because there's a place for each of those.
Oh, I was going to ask if you've thought about running commercials on HGTV. Spectrum sells them and they're really cheap.
Not yet, but
You have a good counterpoint to what the designers are doing in those shows.
that's something to keep in mind for sure.
All this stuff is so beyond me, but at the beginning you said design and decorating are two different things. What are the differences between those?
So an interior designer does have the education and the experience. I have a 4-year bachelor's degree in design, which encompasses the technical drafting, knowing the codes. You have to have a certain amount of space around the toilet. You can't have a microwave or a certain distance away from the stove. All of these things are about the function, health, and safety of that house. A decorator's job is purely to come into an existing space and say, okay, maybe we change the color, let's rearrange the furniture this way, and really it's kind of the frosting on the cake. But if the cake is falling apart and crumbling, there's only so much frosting to fix. So, yeah.
Going off of what Gary said about exclusive furniture, would you go to the extent of actually going to a thrift store or antique shop and picking out furniture that can be refurbished if like the person is crafty?
Yeah, and it definitely depends on the client. I actually worked with someone who was furnishing an Airbnb, and I went out to a few different places. I at finding those creative, fun solutions. My own living room, I have curtains that are technically shower curtains, but they're the color I like. They're a fabric that's still nice to the touch. So I'm not someone who's going to come in and say, no, I need 10 grand right away to finish off this little corner of the living room. So.
Is your wine and dine, or your wine and design services, like what, is that on a sliding scale, or, and how successful has that been in your business model?
It's been very good for getting clients to be very comfortable with me and to recommend me to their friends. It is a 2-hour fixed rate service for $175, and so I show up, I give them as much value as I can during that 2 hours, and then of course bring a bottle of wine or cookies or whatever. It's really about hospitality. It's not about having them drink and
There's some logic to that too.
Totally separate. But it's just about hospitality, and I'm Midwestern. I show up in something I feel weird if I show up empty-handed, so that was part of where that came from. But really giving them as much value as possible. We go through the house and we rearrange what's there. We say, maybe this is one thing that you should look at purchasing new, but here's a couple ideas for what it should look like and where you can go source that. So, so they do get a lot out of that. And sometimes that is the kickoff to a bigger project. Maybe they have me open for that as a test, and then say, okay, well, we're going to redo the bathroom in a couple months. Come on back, and maybe we'll plan for that at that point.
If you woke up tomorrow and just all of your dreams came true about your business, you woke up and it was exactly where you wanted it to be, what would that look like? And what do you think an obstacle to that is? Or what might you ask of the community to say, do you know anybody who is or has or knows about something that could make this dream a reality?
I guess the biggest thing that I want for my business is obviously to support my family, and maybe not quite the level of HGTV being on camera all the time, but working consistently with my clients and having larger scale projects, maybe not just one little bathroom, but the whole house remodels or building. So getting connected with contractors that will recommend me or even include my services as part of their service to their clients is definitely the direction that I want to go with that. Someday maybe having a retail storefront, but I really like the consultation. I really like working one-on-one with my clients and having that long-term relationship with them. And really it's about people knowing about me, ABC, and not at the end. So the hindrance would be if they don't hear about me until they've already built the house.
Are you working with realtors at all?
I do.
For staging houses?
Yes.
Fixing ones that people would want to buy?
Yep, yeah, so I do have a consultation where I do either with the client who's selling the house or with the realtor themselves, where I can go into a house, use what's already there again, rearrange the space and make it show at its best potential for those occupied houses. I don't have an inventory that I bring in, I just work with what's already there and give them advice on, yes, you should redo this thing before you put it on the market, or maybe no, leave that alone, and try and find that balance of where the best investment for their money is to get that house sold for maximum profit. But yes, I do work with quite a few realtors.
Are you talking with the ones that sell the McMansions out in the rural areas? Because there are a lot of huge houses out there, and most of them look awful. And they have typically remote buyers. I'm getting hundreds of them. You kind of go, oh man. But so often they have a remote owner, so they need a local person to pull it together, both for a local look and just to get it done.
Definitely. And I have worked, one of the realtors I worked with, she rents furniture to do the staging. I just came in and offered advice on how to arrange it, what colors and styles to look for that would make the show the best, because it was an unoccupied home at that time. Most of the ones that I work with, though, are ones where the homeowners are living in the house at that time, so I'm just using what they have. And a little bit smaller, but
All right, well, I guess that finishes it up if we don't have any more questions. All right, thank you.
so now is the time where I get up and I beg you all to be presenters and tell your friends about everything. So this is kind of the bulletin portion in between. If you've never been a presenter and you have something to announce, like Shelby is doing one of her masterminds, I believe it's at, is it at 3 or 3:30 today, guys? Okay, nobody knows. It's down at First Montana Title. I believe it's at 3 or 3:30. I'll get clarification on that. Your first one is free, so if you want to go check it out, you can check it out absolutely for free. If you have any events, anything upcoming, let us know, and we'll kind of put it in this bulletin announcement time. Let's see. I've noticed that we've gotten this huge engagement. So again, keep sharing things on Facebook. That's super helpful, and I think we're going to get a LinkedIn presence and a couple other things going. Oh yes.
That was the mastermind.
Yes. It's at 3. Okay. So Shelby's mastermind, which your first one is free, is at First Montana Title down the road at 3 p.m. 3 o'clock to 4:30. All right, and then of course we want to thank Last Chance Pub and Cider Mill for giving us this space. I don't think 1 Million Cups would be nearly as cool without this awesome space to have it in. And they've got an excellent menu of locally sourced stuff. They make their cider right there, so come and check it out, try it out. And I think that's all I have. I think it's time to bring up our next presenter, which is MoochDocker, which is a super cool new kind of tech startup. And Colter's here to tell you all about it.
Okay, I'm Colter Devries, and can everyone hear me okay? I'm the co-founder of MoochDocker. MoochDocker is a shared economy, gig economy for RV campsites. So there are other gig economies in the RV industry out there, outdoorsy. They're kind of the Airbnb for renting out your RV itself. I'm not afraid to say we're the Airbnb for RV camping, boondocking. And how this started is I have a co-founder, we're female founded, Suzanne, she was RVing from San Diego to Montana, and she was pretty green about RVing, and she could not find a place to park outside of Death Valley National Park in California, and it caused immense anxiety and angst on her vacation, and it took the fun out of it. And as she owned her RV for many more years and learned more about RVing, especially when RVing becomes a lifestyle, boondocking, I'm sure you've all seen RVs parked at the Walmart parking lot, or Cabela's, big box stores, or truck stops. That's associated with boondocking, and it's not necessarily an event because the RVer is cheap or frugal. It's because they don't have any other options during peak season. Your campgrounds are booked, oftentimes several months in advance. They're completely booked out. There's no immediate campgrounds available. Booking via your cell phone, an app, is not really attainable because most campgrounds are mom and pop, independently owned. Baby boomers who they just don't do online bookings. They want to know their customer and they want you to call. And so there's a lot of pain points within RVing. It seems really fun and liberating and free from the outside looking in, but it becomes pretty tedious once you get involved. And so we wanted to solve the problem of boondocking, and in particular surrounding national parks that end your federal state lands, BLM, Forest Service, school trust lands, where it's first come, first serve. So you can't reserve your Forest Service campgrounds. You just have to show up and hope you find one. And so what that does is a lot of times it causes people to leave that Forest Service or national park and go look elsewhere and eventually boondock. So our answer to that is to have a shared economy, have independent homeowners, hosts, driveways, farms, and ranches supply RV sites. And this can be ranging from one night in a driveway as just somewhere to stay overnight on your way from Minneapolis to Seattle type deal, or it can be experiential, and that includes fly fishing on private secluded ranches, dude ranches, hunting, so kayaking. The experience is where we want to take this. We're starting much like the Airbnb model where they offered air mattresses on the living room floor of apartments. We're offering driveways, and we're getting driveway sign up to solve the problem of boondocking, but we're going to take it to more of a TripAdvisor model to where we already have one dude ranch signed up, and that's where we would increase our revenue significantly, is we go from renting a campsite at $20 to $65 a night, depending on the amenities and the appeal, to also having upsells of $1,400 horseback rides, $300 Jeep rides through the Utah desert. When we can start moving the experiences, then we start increasing our revenue more significantly than overnight parking and camping. I'm from Roberts originally, a ranch, and I just wanted to take a minute and say it's an honor to be here. Sam Hoffman, the founder of Red Lodge Ales, he sponsored me in my first rodeo over 14 years ago when Red Lodge Ales was in the feed store in Red Lodge. And it's so amazing to see his success, and I think it's very inspiring for a lot of us who want to do something different and who are seeking to achieve that kind of success. So thanks to Sam Hoffman, that's a picture of him up there on the wall, and thanks for hosting this to Big Sky EDA. You bet.
What I don't love is trying to...
I can continue talking for a minute. So we started this about a year and a half ago, the original idea, and we're just learning the hard way with everything we do. And so I know one of the requirements of presenting today was, I think I have to come with an ask of what do I need help with, what am I looking for from the Billings business community. One ask is our insurance policy. Ranchers are very risk averse and they don't want to bring in John Q. Public on their place with that liability. So we, aside from a $2 million commercial liability policy, we need something more custom tailored that fits the gig economy, the shared economy. Preferably something that's copy and pasted from Airbnb's policy. They started with Lloyd's of London with a custom policy. So has Land Trust, which is the Airbnb for hunting in Bozeman. Lloyd's of London underwrote that one with investors, and it's extremely steep, and we're not going to pay that kind of price for an insurance policy. So if anyone has any recommendations, we're looking for help there. So then that also ties into liability and waiver. We are going to need our own custom liability and waiver insurance in case someone gets bit by a rattlesnake or kicked by a cow when they're boondocking. So just planning for the unforeseen. So we are looking for help in risk management, and our biggest pain point is in-housing the tech, so developers and engineers. We have outsourced the software we're using. We've white labeled, we've licensed a platform that was built for the Canadian RVing Association. It's way overbuilt for what we need, and working with the contractors is not that rewarding. And a lot of my mentors have said, you've got to have a partner who's your tech. You've got to in-house your tech eventually. And so I'm really trying to look within the Billings business community for a tech partner, for a contractor that is that I can knock on their door instead of waiting for an email to get back to me. And so engineers, developers, we really need that right now, because what we have, it's everything we could ever want, but it's built for commercial campgrounds. It's not scalable for what we want to do right now. And there are specific unique changes we need to make to our platform that we're having a hard time working with our developer on. So I need to in-house a CTO type position sooner than later. All right, how are we on buffering? Is that me or you? Is it the website or?
What I don't love is trying to book RV reservations. Spending hours researching only to find places that either don't allow online reservations, have been sold out for months, or are first come first served sites only. Multiple weekend RV adventures had to be canceled because I couldn't secure a reservation. Trying to boondock along the way only left me feeling hopeless. Unsafe. And expecting a knock on my RV door in the middle of the night. As I became a more experienced RVer, I realized I wasn't alone in my frustrations. So I created MoochDocker, a shared economy for booking overnight RV reservations and planning adventures. Here's how it works. Hosts create a listing of their driveway, ranch, or any space that accommodates an RV, while including important features like what size rig can fit, if campfires are allowed, and Wi-Fi availability. When RVers search for an overnight spot among the stars, a tailgating lock, or a last-minute parking meet along their epic road trip route, they can book a site that fits their RV and amenities. They desire. We've streamlined the check-in and out process with our proprietary Mooch Park system, allowing RVers to come and go as needed while giving hosts peace of mind. MoochDocker is much bigger than just RV reservations. It's a community of overnight options where RVers are encouraged to go your own way. Hi, I'm Suzanne.
I'm going to bring up our platform. We haven't interfaced these yet, so it's on a different domain right now. Oh, this is fine. So as we get into finding our niche and actually increasing our revenue streams, I like this one here on the Columbia River to promote, because this has a lot of appeal for something other than just camping overnight. There's sturgeon fishing, there's fishing in general, there's boating, water skiing, there's a lot of amenities, adventures, and experiences that can be added onto a $20 campsite. And then same for Wanda over here in Absaroka is offering experiential sites, camping, as opposed to just boondocking. So that's where we're trying to go. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Being in the RV industry for 10 years, the main thing I've found is that you're going into someone's driveway or what have you. Most of them aren't going to have 30 or 50 amp service, so you're going to want to run your generator. But then a lot of places, especially in larger cities, have covenants where you can't have a generator running after a certain time. So how are you going to, versus say Walmart parking lot where I can run my generator and not have an issue?
Yeah, so that's going to be up to the HOA and the homeowner. I mean, that's not our responsibility to regulate above what your your municipality does and what your HOA is regulating. But yeah, you're right. I mean, most of these are dry camps, wild camps. So house here in Billings, amenities, no 30 amp, no 50 amp, no sewer, and no water. And that's kind of what we're just starting with the basics. But then, so here's Big Country Ranch, north of Billings here. This one does have, this one should have, I guess I don't have it set up correctly. Should have electricity, water, and sewer on this one because it's, oh, okay. Yeah, so it's going to vary. We're starting.
Think about getting the people to sign up to list their property so they can have more areas, but yet, you know, a lot of people who are boondocking and want, especially summers here or in other areas such as Florida and stuff of that nature, where kind of need racing sleeps.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I think, I mean, that's going to be something my wheels are turning to include in our policy. So thank you, I appreciate that. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
Airbnb had a pretty big scandal about last year where people were essentially running a bait and switch scam. So people would sign up, they would get to a place, and as soon as they got there, they would get upsold or it wasn't what they expected. And then the provider would just simply tear down the profile and build up another one before they could get the negative customer reviews. So Airbnb started exploring this concept of sort of verification of sites. Do you see that you'll have to do something similar?
Yeah, verification is going to be a challenge, absolutely, especially when, well, I'd bring up another one, but you take some of these ranches down here, they're on the back 40 of the back 40 of the back 40 of the back 40 of the ranch. And so anyone could park there for days and not be seen, and you could be posting campsites on my place and making the money from it. So verification is going to be a challenge, but it's going to be an expensive challenge for us because it takes human capital to accomplish that.
So as you kind of expand, have you looked, we've come from construction backgrounds where we have a lot of transient skilled trade labor that goes into Texas or North Dakota, some of those areas, and you have an overpopulace in the area. So a lot of times these guys bring in RVs, so you can have anywhere from 40 to 500 people that need RV spots. I know in one of the recent areas in New Mexico, people had land where they would just literally load up RV slots and have 10 or 15 people. Is that something you may consider expanding upon as a revenue source?
Yeah, part of our decision to launch this was actually being storm chasers, chasing FEMA around the country and providing temporary housing for either refugees of some sort or federal employees, contractors, but also like the Bakken boom. When you have a boom anywhere and a shortage of housing, mobile homes are a pretty easy solution to that.
As we get like rocking and rolling on this, is there a way are you or a member of your team checking out each spot to make sure it is what it says it is, to make sure it's representing you correctly?
Yeah, right now, I mean, and as we get rocking and rolling, I hope we get rocking and rolling and scaling so quickly that I need to hire it. But right now it's me. Because the listing process is for commercial campgrounds, it's very complex. I'm having to do it all myself because I don't want to lose the customer. Most ranchers would see our platform, the back end, and they'd say, to hell with this. I'm not spending the time loading in my information. So I'm doing it for them. I'm going to be out there taking professional pictures. A lot of these are DIY type pictures, so I'll be doing some verification. But yeah, as we grow, we will have sales and service managers who are taking professional pictures and visiting the site and doing reviews, making suggestions on here's the way to increase your revenue. Can you think about solar, 30 amp? Can you think about sewage dump, an outhouse, offering firewood? Let's talk about increasing your revenue as a host.
Is your goal to get bought out or to hold on to it and build it up?
No, my goal is to buy KOA.
So with some of the things that you were looking for, you were saying that you wanted to hire some positions in. There was a presenter here that's in tech named Philip who has an app called Empty Loads that he's developing along with some other things. And he's on vacation now, otherwise he'd be here. But we'll go ahead and try and put you in touch with him.
Appreciate that.
Because if he couldn't do it, he could definitely find you somebody who could simplify that process to make it something that's not so intimidating for your hosts today.
It's music to my ears. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes.
Do you use any publicly available GIS data?
No, and we're fighting about that internally because I have a revenue model, a subscription-based model, that I want to include the recreation.gov sites, that database, and we can easily pull it in. And I'm trying to get all of the Canadian sites from the Canadian RVing Association right now, and that's like well over 3,000 campgrounds, and there's only a dozen or so that you can do book now instantly that MoochDocker would be able to monetize. But I'm trying to pull those all in with a subscription model, because if we're not making money on the federal government sites, I don't want to put them out there. But if we have a subscription-based model to where people can access the recreation.gov sites, then I would be inclined to feature them.
Well, the other thing I was thinking too, when you're worried about people putting sites out there that maybe they don't own. So the state of Montana makes some ownership publicly available, or actually a lot of it if you get the right database. So you could have a model where when they sign up for it, if what their address or their name doesn't match what's on the publicly available data, it would send a red flag to you and say, okay, this doesn't look right. And maybe it's under a trust or something, and then it's a simple check, but they could probably weed out 75–80% of every check of people. And there will be other benefits to it, but that would be a simple one, and it would be scalable to help you, and hopefully close up in the future. But,
yeah, appreciate that using Cadastral and that would be very helpful. Well, thank you all. If you'd like to, you can check out MoochDocker.com, MoochDocker.com//RVer. We have more videos at /RVer and /host. So this will be interfaced with MoochDocker.com soon. So when we're live, hopefully you all can get a hold of me and post your driveways.
And I know you've covered a little bit of it already.
Collectively, everyone together. I think Billings has been very supportive, and I think Billings is it's great access to talent and to people who have the want to see success happen. So I'd say just continue supporting your entrepreneurs. Reach out to me if you have an idea. Like I like the Montana Cadastral idea, and other helpful hints that could be included in our policy. So yeah, just stay in touch with me, and by staying in touch with me, I feel like you're supporting me, and Suzanne and I are helping us try to achieve some success here in Billings. So thank you.
All right, thank you all for coming out today. We ended up finishing up a little bit early, so we've got some time. Go ahead and hang out, get to know some of the attendees, and we hope to see you and then some next week.